Okay. So this is going to be on your annotated bibliography. This is going to be the bibliography itself. All right. So first you're going to want to set up your bibliography. So the easiest way to do this is just open up a blank Google Doc and click the U for underline. Sorry, this is slightly off. I don't know why. And then you're going to want to click this button to center it and write out the words works cited. That's all you do. It means the same thing as bibliography. But this is what you put in MLA, which is what I'm showing you. Now, I'm going to show you how to cite articles, because I'm going to assume that you went on the internet and found these things. If you use books or other media, you're going to go to what's called Purdue OWL. And let me give you guys this clue. Purdue OWL is going to be your best friend in college, because it has all the sources you're going to need for writing papers. If I were you, I'd bookmark it now. But certainly when you get to college, Purdue OWL is going to be your best friend. It's going to be better than the friend that you go to parties with, better than the friend that you hang out with on weekends, better than the friend you cry with when you broke up with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Your Purdue OWL is going to do everything to help you get through writing papers in college. So it's going to be your best friend. And so get used to that now, or please prepare for that now. Purdue OWL is the best, has everything you're going to need. Purdue University's in Indiana. I have a good friend from high school that went there. It's a great school, but their page on how to do resources is second to none. A really good page. All right. So when you are writing out your first source, you're going to write the author name. You're going to write last name first name second. If you have multiple authors, list out each one the same way. If you have no author, remember I'd asked you to research to have things with authors, but if you didn't listen then, that's fine. We'll get through it now. You're just going to write the name of the publication and the editor. So if it's written for Houston Chronicle, you'd write Houston Chronicle Editors. Then you're going to write the author title. Be sure to type out the complete article name. Begin and end with quotation marks, okay? And then if you decide to copy and paste, that's fine, but just be sure that you paste without formatting. So it stays the same way. If you just hit paste, it's going to paste it in the same font and style that's on the web page you're looking at. And that can really end up making your page look crazy, so don't do that. So hit paste without formatting, okay? And then it's going to paste the article, the title. Okay. The publication name. Who published this? If you're finding sources on the internet, it's usually going to be just the name of the webpage, whatever it was. So if it was Houston Chronicle, right, that's a newspaper out of Houston, Texas, you're just going to type that out. Always click italics. It should be slightly slanted. See how this is slightly slanted compared to this? That's just how it's supposed to be done. The date published. So put the date the article was published. Usually it's on top, right at the top of the article. Sometimes it'll be on the bottom. If there are multiple dates, you always just put the latest one. They'll go back to websites and sometimes update things as they get new information to learn more about whatever the article is written about. But whatever date you put, just put the latest one, because that's when, the version that you saw. If there is no date, if you look up and down, and call me over or one of your other teachers if you're honestly telling me you can't find the date, because we'll usually find it, but sometimes, like 1 out of 100 times, there won't be a date. If that happens, then put accessed, the date you accessed the page, the day you went there, and then put the date. That way, if I were to go back to that website and be like, hey, wait, what did the student do? What they claim? And, pretend they went back now and completely changed what they're writing about. You could say, well, Mr. Walmsley, I went on that date. Okay? All right. Then you got to copy and paste the whole web page address. So copy and then hit paste. Usually you don't have to worry as much about hitting paste without formatting, although if you stay in that habit, you'll be all the better off. This is so I can access it. And then indents. This one is where students get tripped up. The first line should be left alone. Every line below it needs to be indented. So you use the down arrow, then click tab. If that does not work, what I usually just tell students to do is to hit enter and then tab. And then you'll do this for each line below the top one for each entry. So this is how it should look. Okay? You are done. Now, I just want to say this last note. Why do we have bibliographies? Why do we have works cited? Because your professors and your teachers want to see where you got the information from. That is all it is for. And it's kind of got this old school system of doing it. And some of this is because this is how we used to do it back in the day. But the idea is if I go, I'm reading your paper and I'm like, I want to learn more about that, or I want to see what the source was, I can find it. That is the purpose. So web pages are making that a lot easier, but that's why you're going to do it here. All right, guys, good luck. Let me know if you need anything.